So let's look at Thomas Aquinas' approach to the proof, demonstration of the existence of God. What I've given you are 3 articles from Thomas's great work, the Summa Theologica, which is sort of one of those books that deals with everything you could possibly imagine in some relation or other to religion and God. These 3 articles are really 3 questions. The first question is whether the existence of God is self-evident. The second is whether the existence of God is demonstrable, whether it can be demonstrated. And the third is whether God actually exists, and if so, why? So really there are 3 questions, and Thomas's way of dealing with such questions is dialectical. It's almost as if he's engaging in formal debate. And so the first thing you'll see is objections to his position, and it's in these objections which he will actually state arguments against the position that he will actually take. After the objections, the turning point of the article is always the on the contrary, where he will cite some authority, either the Bible or another theologian or an ancient pagan philosopher, non-Christian philosopher. In the first article about whether the existence of God is self-evident, he quotes Aristotle, and he refers to him simply as the philosopher, which is a signal of how important Aristotle was to Thomas Aquinas. And then there will be an I answer that, in which Thomas will provide his own support for his position. For instance, in Article 1, he does not believe that the existence of God is self-evident. And rightly or wrongly, he thought that Anselm did think it was self-evident, and he disagrees with that. What is self-evidence? That is a really important topic. It may not be clear what that is meant to express. If you are an American, and I'm not assuming that everyone who takes this course is an American, but if you are an American, those words will be familiar from the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, etc., etc. The notion there is that there are some truths which are so basic, fundamental, so built into either the structure of our thinking or the structure of the world, in that physical sense, that they do not need proof to be recognized as being valid and true. Most of the truths that we think we have, we recognize that if someone demands it, that we should be able to support those truths, to argue for them, to provide evidence for them. There are other truths, a very small number, I guess, which are held to be true without evidence. That is, in some level, obvious, at least when you know what's being talked about. So the notion is that something like the equality of all human beings to the founding fathers of the United States of America was held to be a truth that everyone knew was true without proof. So here, in this article, asking whether the existence of God is self-evident, is it obvious that God exists? Or is it the kind of thing that needs to be proved? Thomas thinks that it needs to be proved. Does that mean that the existence of God is not self-evident? Well,